The shape key of crouching is really juicy. It is an evolution of the fold. It's an asymmetrical geometry and folding at the hips. So as a loose sketch, from standing, we're going to drop down through the pelvis, folding at the hips, and touch the earth. We get closer to the ground. And with one leg in the lead, we're moving in forward and back, backwards and forwards pulse. I usually just call it the long pulse or the longitudinal pulse. So it's this spinal awareness, threading the spine forward and back, leaning into it, and then backing up deep into the sits bones, strong through the legs. And before we tax one side too much, we'll naturally have an impulse intuitively to turn around to the other side. We're self-balancing creatures, and we really want to listen to that. So we work hard here. We're slow, we're strong. As always, all of the articulations of all the major joints and the locomotive intelligence is always the same in all of the shapes, but we experience it differently for so many reasons. Our orientation in gravity, our proximity to the ground. And keeping the neck and the head super supple. Everything is deliberate. Everything is very articulate from the core outward. So in this example in the beginning, we just dropped right into a crouch from standing, which is completely fine and accessible. However, you'll find that in the sequence of playing around in all of the shape keys, the crouch usually ends up being an evolution from the fold. So here we are in the fold, moving side to side in our bilateral pulse. And what's so yummy is as you move, and the pelvis starts really moving more freely in the fold, and the legs are articulating more rotation and footwork, we end up quite simply wanting to naturally turn to one side and break out into something asymmetrical. So here I'm turning a quarter turn to the left leg ends up in the lead, and we're in the crouch. Just this shift from the bilateral movement, the side to side, to the long movement with an asymmetrical stance is already balancing residual patterns from the bilateral movement. It's complementary. And from here, again, we're just listening. We're playing with hip rotation. We're playing with spinal articulation. Where is the head? Where are the feet? How do we interface with the ground? Turning around, again, is an intuitive, instinctive pivot, a navigation, changing directions in your environment. I love turning the back leg in, sometimes the front leg in. Medial rotation is so therapeutic in this. It really helps open the hips and dissolve the chair from the body. So as you continue to play, you can vary stance length from very short to quite long. You can bring the pelvis higher, you can bring the pelvis lower. Letting the head turn and look around. So we're always curious. We're never complacent. Never complacent, just such grace and such a gift to move in these ways, to remember in these ways our primal nature within the deep evolution of consciousness and awareness.